Hey, what's up, people? It's me, Emkwan. Peace and blessings to all out there. Hope you guys are well. Now, I'm sitting out in the car, got a bit of time to kill before work starts, and I wanted to make this video response. This is a video response to somebody that I know from the tech community, the online community, someone I consider a friend, called PD Talking Tech. I post a link down below to his tweet and to his Twitter account. And he asked me a question which I've actually been asked in the past a few times, but I've not responded in a video kind of way, and I don't know why. I just thought, well, this warranted a video response. And to summarize, his question was that, have you ever felt like you're in a situation where, as a YouTuber, you've not been in the mood to create videos, like you've forgotten how to create videos, or you're stuck? And if so, how do you deal with it? It's an interesting question. The direct answer to that is yes. I've been in that situation probably 2 or 3 times in my YouTube career, and I've been making YouTube videos for about 3 years now. And this is definitely something that I've experienced. So how I've dealt with it is very simple. I go back to what was my original motivator, because that's key. You have to go back to what it is that originally motivated you, that got you turned on, that got you excited, that made you pull out the camera, that made you take this risk, record something, put it online, and share it with potentially millions of people. That's the thing that you have to find. That's the thing that you have to go back to. Now, you have to take a moment out, and you have to stop what you're doing and go back to that point. And one of two things will happen. The first thing is that you'll go back to that original motivator, and it will just inspire you, and it will remind you about why you started this, and you will get really excited, and you'll be like, you know what? I know now why I'm doing this. Okay? The second possibility is the fact that you will go back, you'll remember your original motivator, you may have forgotten your original motivator, whatever, but you'll be at this point where whatever the motivator that you thought was that got you started on this path will also be meaningless, in the sense that, like, you'll have forgotten, or it doesn't hold that kind of turn on the way that it did at that point in your life when you first started off. And that's really important, because that's happened to me once in my YouTube career. When I started off YouTube, for me, YouTube was a release. I had I wouldn't say boring, but I had a very, very traditional kind of job. I had a very traditional kind of, I was setting up a business. There was a kind of very prim and proper kind of approach to it. And I was studying something that was very different from what I had in terms of my real core interest outside of education, outside of work. And YouTube was a release for me. I mean, I wore a mask, for God's sake. I didn't care what people thought. I wasn't bothered about views. I wasn't bothered about, money or anything like that. For me, it was just kind of a chance to have fun, enjoy myself. And the few people that knew that I was doing it and knew who the person was behind the mask, they enjoyed it. I kind of got a buzz out of that. And it allowed me to be creative. But as time went by, there was a point where that, as a motivator, started to go. And I got into the realm of, wait, I can make serious money from this. And I started viewing it with an angle of making money, and that worked for a while. And then I got to a stage where, hey, this isn't really a money-making thing. If I want to make serious money, there's tons of ways that I can make better money and be more efficient about making money. And then all of a sudden, that motivator slipped. So recently, when I moved from the UK to the UAE, and money was no longer a factor for me, it wasn't that I have to make videos for money's sake, and it wasn't that I had to make videos to please anyone or to get contracts or this, that, the other, or help my business further grow. Things changed, and I went back to my original motivator, which was that it was a chance for me to be creative. It was a chance for me to have a release and have a life outside of work. And it's amazing that where I started from, I kind of reverted back to that, and I'm much more happy in the way that I make YouTube videos and what I do. So those are the two possibilities that will happen. Number one, you'll go back to your original motivator and it'll still be there. It will inspire you, turn you on. Good, go for it. The second possibility is that it would have changed. Now, if that happens, you have to then stop what you're doing, take a break, Don't worry about the Galaxy S4 release. Don't worry about unboxings. Don't worry about the latest news on Google Glass or whatever else is in the news. Stop what you're doing and reevaluate where you are and what you want to do with your YouTube channel based on what you want from your life at this point in time. Now, the important thing to remember is that things change. One of the best lessons that I've learned over my life, and particularly in the last few years, is that the person that's the strongest is not necessarily the one that is physically the strongest, or even mentally the strongest, or emotionally the strongest. It's the person that is able to adapt to change and embrace change and understand that everything changes. Everything is in a state of change. Where you are now, you're not going to be in a year's time. Where I am in my life today, I would never have imagined 6 months ago. Really, 6 months ago, I would never have imagined me to be where I am, earning the money that I am, living the kind of life that I am, you know, having the relationship with my wife and family in the way that I am now, compared to 6 months ago, compared to a year ago. And I feel much more comfortable with the fact that if things were to change, even change dramatically now, I feel I'll be more adaptable and more able to kind of adapt myself internally, my life around where I'll be in the future in order to kind of deal with the best at that point in time. And I think that's key. That motivation is number one, but also understanding the fact that things change. So adapt to those changes. And finally, number 3 is be intelligent, you know. Sometimes we do things that feel right at that point in time in our lives, and they make sense, and you get involved with it for whatever reason. But if those things start becoming a drain on you, your resources, and what's best for you, then let them go. And that's something that's prevalent about YouTube, and I've seen this with a lot of YouTubers, that they can get sucked into it. I myself included, that in the past I've been completely sucked into something that then kind of, I have to stop and wait and say, wow, is that really my priority? Because it's damaging relations with people that are close to me, or it's preventing me from achieving the best for my future, or this, that, the other. So evaluate things and, you know, have a balance. So number 1 is motivation. Think about your motivation. Number 2 is what did I say was number 2? I forgot. Number 2 was, understanding that you've got to change and you've got to adapt to change. And the third thing is weigh things up and be intelligent about stuff. I hope that's helped. And in many ways, this is not only about YouTube. This is why this question was so pertinent. I wanted to make a video response. This can also be about a ton of other things. It can be about, you know, your job. It can be about, you know, can I go on to the next level? Can I do this? Can I do that? There's a lot of other stuff that you can focus on. So you need to stay focused on that and stick by that. I hope that's helped. And if it has, leave a comment down below. And, you know, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can. Some of these questions that, you know, if you want to ask me a question, the quickest, easiest, most direct way of asking me a question is through Twitter. So twitter.com/Emkwan. Okay? I'll see you in the next video. Leave your video response as well for PD Talking Tech, and share your thoughts. Anyway, till then, keep it geek. Peace and blessings.